And so it begins. Well, what's that? Another episode? Yeah. What fucking episode? Well, I think we got everything. We got coffee. We got the 1702 monitor in front of the door. We got the usual breakfast. I'm running out of shit to watch, and the projector bulb hours are getting very high. Our Argos don't sell the same projector anymore. Mind you, I'll just buy new bulbs anyway. I upgraded to 720p widescreen projectors. Because what nobody tells you is if you buy a 720p widescreen projector, you know, over a 1024 768 stroke 800 by 600 4:3, it projects the same size image in height as the 4:3 image, and it's got the extra width, which I believe the women love. Gert or dirt. That's a bit weird. Anyway, let's see what's going on here. Right, okay. Right, so I've been working on something called Tiny Poker, and by working I mean I've got 3 lines of BASIC with some erased dimension and a very important rem statement that tells me what those variables are. The problem here is doing a poker game properly does take up a fair bit of memory that people would rather have as graphical locations or some sort of graphical related thing, or maybe even just other areas of the game map. It's going to be a larger area, I think, and I've just decided we might even have a train on there, so maybe we'll do a bit of that today. But there is one problem, although the print statements are lightning fast on the C64, you can actually use a weird hack where you can use a print statement and you know, pesky characters in the quotes to do pokes. And I don't mean in screen memory, no. There's a Sprite Multiplex demo for well, obviously BASIC, because that's what we're talking about. Give you a chance. I just woke it up and the cats are being a bit funny today. So the problem has always been moving the cursor around, because if you wanted to move the cursor 38 columns across to the right, because it's a left-hand drive computer obviously, there are other ways, but most usually you do you know, not Linnaeus, so left string. So again with the left-handedness, left-handed God, who knows, mate. Our Charpentier was good. I don't know if it was good though. There are a few problems with the VIC-2 chip. But anyway, for the amount of RAM it uses, specifically multicolour bitmap mode 8K, it uses half the amount of RAM of the Amstrad, and you can get almost the same pictures. Now 8K is a lot of memory to manipulate anyway. So anyway, I did this little program. I don't know if you can actually see that. Anyway, and that always shits you up because the list comes from there. So look, rem to move cursor with pokes, poke 780 and then 7, we have to do the 780,0 business, and then it's 781,24. So that is going to be the vertical characters, and 782,38 I put there to remind me that's the horizontal cursor positioning characters. And you have to do this SYS call. Now to print this across it, moving across the screen, if you ever wanted to print other stuff at the same time, then you shit out of luck, because you'd have to print 36 left cursor commands in the quotes, and however many down you want. That's a lot of printing just to print this bit here. The thing was actually larger, but that's what they all say, innit? Just go 90, go to 10, I guess. Should still work. Now I'm using the software blitter method here, so basically you print the characters you want, and then you overwrite exactly the same shape but of spaces before you move the character. So there you go, I've actually done it so it erases, moves the cursor and then prints. No, I've done it the other way around, there you go. And then I've done this at the end, so it's 4 extra print statements just to get you back to here. If you go up one from there and another one, you get to the top, and 1, 2. So it's one less than you think. It's always one less than you think. But that's how you move stuff. Now this is important, because if you want bullet holes going pow 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 pow, which you do, that's basically 5 lines of code with, if you're just going to do a circle, it would be print statements. Now that is the next step, to do a random thing where it prints bullet holes on the screen. But anyway, you end up with this, which is a lot faster and actually consistent. It will always be this speed for this routine, no matter how many characters you need to move it across. If you're using print statements with a left string, you know, X string, which would be 39 left cursor thingies and a home key. So that's an important step. So I didn't really change anything there. All I did was make it loop so you could see. But that's a win. Now, I wouldn't mind doing this on the SX64, but I don't trust real discs. So there's nothing wrong with a bog standard bread bin C64. Nothing at all. Keyboard is fine. Don't listen to the Atari 800 fanboys or BBC Micro fanboys. So the other one I did was keyboard peaks, because get A string is a real shit way of doing it. I always knew there was a peak command you could use. And there you go. If you only check for certain keys like the shift key and the Commodore key and the control key. Now this works for every key on the keyboard except fucking F5 or F6. So if you press F1 is 44, shift and F1, which is F2, is 1 and 44. Now for our game, you don't actually need to peak more than one address, because we're never going to use the shift key. I've decided. Now there is a different way to do the shootout, and that is you do it proper Sergio Leone Western style, where they have to cock the gun. So it's not an automatic, it's a revolver, but you have to pull the hammer back after every shot. So you'd have two keys, so maybe you get them to press F1 and then space, and then F1 and space, and then whoever gets off the 6 shots first. People are gonna hate me for this because it's gonna knacker out your keyboard, but I don't care. I've got about 40 C64 compatible machines. I've got including the stuff I've bought for spares, 2 of which are probably fucked. I've got 6 Commodore 128s. I've got 2 that yeah, they've been fucked about with. 1 mint in the box that should still work. I don't know what I did with the one that I bought off my mate. Some mate he was, that fucking 128 power socket was it on the PSU side, and actually the PSU as well was fucked. And he refused to give me any games with it at all, which is what we had agreed. So there you go. It's right, print character string 147. That's the equivalent of this business here, when you print that, which is to clear the screen. I can't do the clear home business because I haven't got a full-size keyboard. So that's what you do. Print peak. Right, yeah, so that's it. I don't know why I've done that actually. I'm not sure. Oh, that's just up. Yeah, let me just check that. Yeah, that is up. Yeah, you can't do that, mate. So that's a simple thing. So I guess I'll do that now quickly before we play some games, innit? So let's no, I won't load the directory. I'll write it while it's on the screen here. We don't need the rem there. No, actually that's such a simple thing to do. Oh yeah, it's important if you do use this method, and then after doing any sequence where you use this to check for keyboard presses, which should be faster than get A string if A string is equal to blah blah blah. I think there is a command where you can do, there is a thing where there's a go-to command, and it's basically, it's like branch if equal to or branch if not equal to. It's like on variable, and you can have a minus or not a minus around the brackets, go to, and then a line number. And it is kind of like if then, because you can do something after it, another command straight after it, which would make it else, if then else. The C64 doesn't have if then else, but you can get round it as Commodore Basic V2, so it's going to be dirt fast anyway. So yeah, you have to do poke 198,0 to clear the keyboard buffer. Otherwise, all the keys that you pressed are stuck in the keyboard buffer. So when you then go for an input, I'm not sure why that would be the case. I haven't tested that. That's what I was told. If I do use that, any extra pokes for things like this are after the arcade sequence is over. So like I said, I am considering a situation where you have to press the spacebar and the F1 key in sequence. and you have to press it 6 times, and whoever gets there quickest. So it's sort of like a summer game style event. Now I could change that to joystick controls just as easily, because then your peaks are just different values. It works on the same principle. So you could have back on the joystick to pull the hammer back and fire. So people won't be able to cheat with rapid fire, see. So it's kind of like the old Hypersports Decathlon summer game sort of, keyboard mashing, bit of arcading there. The entire game will centre around how shit the graphics are. Ultimately, for me anyway, I don't really care. But it would be nice to have a game that's nice, and then I could say, well, if I was better at doing, user-defined graphics, which I haven't found out yet. I need to specifically find the issue of Input magazine where it's doing the jumping frog sprite, because that tells you how to do user-defined graphics. It might say it in the programmer's reference guide, but I didn't wish projector bulb hours going through that 500 page thing, and that's a large PDF. So we just load this. I just need the basic code, so don't need line 20, we don't need line 30. And we don't even need to clear the bullets holes off the screen. If we did it with one small character, won't need that. Don't need that. We don't need any next thingies. Well, actually we'll leave that there for now, because I've left 40 in there. Let's have a list what we've got left then. Yeah, all this is bullshit. It can go. I don't think we need anything else actually. SH for shots equals 1 to 6. 7, 8, right, okay, so before we get to that bit, let's just list that again. So we got a nice space there. 50 is going to be x equals int R&D zero, not and star here. Okay. What am I doing there? Yeah, you have to do separate X and Y. Yeah, because the pokes are X and Y based. Those pokes would make it very easy to make a character based game that fakes bitmap mode. Well, actually, I've not tried it. If you wanted to draw a line of things on that side of the screen, that'd be very slow in BASIC. But using the pokes, you could just move it here once, and then 24 times you're going to be printing the actual character you want if it's the same one. Actually no, it doesn't make it, you have to redraw the entire screen, so it makes no difference. But for fake 3D stuff like a Star Raiders type game with 16 by 16 character, like laser shots like you get on your VCS version. Anyway, this is simple. And that is right, you want it from 0 to 39. Yeah, we're only doing a test with like a small bullet hole, so 1 equals int 20 0. Yeah, so 0 is allowable. You won't be able to shorten these things much, so you probably won't get all the pokes on one line, because you've got to do poke that and do a SYS call. You save a lot of characters by putting that in a variable, and then you could do SYS, whatever, C for cursor. Well, I don't know, mate. Yeah, so yeah, that's not all going to fit on one line. It starts there, so it goes over 1, 2, 3, 4. So it won't be enough, yeah. It's a shame. Oh no, we don't need to do anything, so it's just although we do save 2 characters. I put that the wrong way around. That's the Y component. You assume it's XY, but it's not. And it's print. No. You don't need a semicolon. And yeah, there we go. Yeah, it don't really look like a big bullet hole, does it? Okay, I'll leave it at that. And next SH. Now if I could find my copy of Sprites and Sound on the Commodore 64, which there is a massive story about that. Massive. It's the only thing I ever won in my life, that book. And it's a very interesting story. And it involves a young, beautiful Greek woman. Very young. She's very attractive as well. A bit like Emma Freud without the weirdness to the lips, nose and jug ears. I believe she's related to Prince Charles. Anyway, I'm going to get rid of the thingy there. I don't need to know that. So I've got the 3 pokes, SYS 65520, and then we print. So that's correct. Get rid of that. Right. Now what we might want to do is only do a certain area of the screen. So actually For some reason that doesn't look right to me. I won't be able to press space and F1 this fast. I suppose you set up 2 SYS channels, slightly different gunshot noise, one for his, one for yours. Guessing yours would be louder. So I guess that means you have to have a filter on the other one. Nah, I don't know, I haven't quite worked it out, but yeah, that's certainly too fast for you to press space and F1 12 times in the correct sequence in total. You might actually be able to run line numbers. There you go. So for some reason they're not looking right. Ooh. Got to be careful with that, because if you press return on that, you'd end up with a 0 there. That would not work. So anyway, that's basically the bullet hole thing. Now what you could do is limit them. So if you got 10 here, well, actually let's say 5, and you could limit the Y business to 0, and plus, I'm going to go for 2. That's really annoying when it looks like that. Oh well. So they're limited, but they're still not kind of circular. Although that one kind of is. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, again, shouldn't really do that. The hell. Right, what I was going to say was, one, can we get a better looking bullet, because that looks quite pathetic, but yeah, it's a shift key, right, so you can draw. I don't think it's going to be oh, actually that is bigger, isn't it? Is it? Ah, that's much bigger, yeah. Oh, that would work. So you've got to go back cursor. I thought that was a delivery of something. So got to go back 2 and down 1 and do the bottom half. And because they don't get erased, that's only a total of 7 characters to print. So those 2 just basically tell it to move the cursor back 2 spots. So if you're there, you're going to go there and back to there, and that one just tells you to go down, so when you print that one and that one, they would appear underneath on the screen. Don't think you need anything else. Ah, that's much better. I'm glad I didn't save that now. Now if you want to do weird bubble effects, which you would never do, You could actually just randomly poke like the bottom line. Don't poke there, it'll cause a print anyway. And then do a print command. No, literally just the word print, nothing. Don't print anything, and that will force because you're on the last line. So basically be making boulders. Anyway, let's let's call this bullet holes. I think you can have 15 characters within the disk image. It's just the name for each of the disk images. You have to limit to 11 for the SD to IEC. 6. Yeah, we're good to go there. So 6 and 6. Come on. Da 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 da. There you go. So yeah, I might go back to the printing of the trees routine I had. See if I could do it with this method. Would it be any faster? Anyway, it's the end of the programming for today.